Hello, thanks for joining me in a new video. Today, I'm unboxing the Nubia Neo 3 GT 5G. Let's get started. I should mention that this box isn't the one officially sold. It's specifically made for this style of unboxing, so it doesn't even fit on my table. The launch price of this device is 5,999 pesos. You can see the reference price in dollars on the screen just for an idea, but remember, prices here differ from there. As you can see, this is a device that's specifically focused on gaming, so let's take a moment to get to know it better. I want to emphasize, this box is not the one provided when you purchase the device. When you buy the cell phone, it will come with the phone itself. Obviously, this documentation box, the cable, and the charger. However, in this instance, it appears that the manufacturer also wanted to highlight their capabilities. You can see they also include a fan, a gamepad, a special case for using the fan, and they even have their own character, especially for those who enjoy gaming and similar activities. Now, take into account that these accessories are not available for official purchase in Mexico, which means this is essentially just a demonstration showing that they can be acquired. Certainly, in the comments, you can express your interest if you would like Nubia to distribute these types of accessories in Mexico. I'm not sure if they're accessible worldwide or in other countries, but this gives you an idea of what they can provide. So, what we're going to do is pull all of this out, allowing us to take a much closer look at it in just a moment with more comfort and ease after we've removed this tremendous box that's included. Now, as you can see, that's the contents, and we're going to carefully remove this. Of course, the most important thing here is the cell phone itself. From this point, the manufacturer already highlights some of the most attractive features, and obviously, it confirms that this will be a 100% device focused on gaming. So, let's go ahead and carefully remove it from this plastic wrap, and while the device powers on, let's take a look at what else is included in the package of the content. We are going to find ourselves with the cable, of course, from USB-C to USB-C. It is quite reminiscent of the Magic Network cables. Remember, Magic Network is a sub-brand of Nubia. So, in this case, they have decided to launch a device that borrows some elements from Magic Network, but clearly, in this case, it is for the mid-range market. Therefore, the cable looks very similar to what we see with Red Magic. It appears modern, especially since it is from USB-C to USB-C. Mind you, it is included in the box they distribute for sale, just like the charger, where we will encounter another strand. It's important to note that it is the same charger that is distributed in the Red Magic 80-watt devices. Naturally, we will have to put it to the test in the video review to thoroughly analyze if it truly manages to harness all this power. But right off the bat, it seems like a very attractive charger for the price range. Now, let's take a look at what else we will find, because this will also come included in the package. The box you choose to purchase, by the way, the device in Mexico is available on sale through Amazon. I've included the link in the description if you want to check it out and make a purchase. Now, take note, here we have the key to remove the tray designed in the classic ZTE style, and it comes packaged in this bag. Remember, Nubia is a part of ZTE, so it might seem like a brand revolution. But to clarify, there's ZTE, followed by Nubia, and then Red Magic, if we consider it in a hierarchical order. Well, right here, we have this very important person card for a special service when you purchase this cell phone. It also includes quick documentation that lasts a lifetime. Additionally, it comes with the case you see, which is completely rigid. This case offers a semi-translucent finish and of course has rigid edges to protect the device well against any falls. Although the sides have minimal protection, remember that it has tactile triggers, which I will show you in a moment. But definitely, I believe it's quite beneficial to witness this degree of additional protection. Please inform me whether you would choose to use the phone with a case or opt for using it without one. Personally, in this particular situation, I would prefer using it without a case, as it helps to avoid reflections. I really like this finish, but of course, I'm eager to hear your thoughts down there in the comments. This is what is officially included with this device now. As I mentioned, the brand has also sent me some other items to showcase their capabilities, so let's begin by showing you this gamepad. It would definitely enhance the gaming experience. I wish Nubia would sell these accessories as a complete kit. Let's take this out and see. You connect the device, and voila, you've got physical triggers and buttons. Everything here looks great. It seems to be in collaboration with GameSeer for these GNS buttons, but I'm not entirely sure about that. However, it still undoubtedly provides you with a very good experience, especially with compatible games. You might even be able to install additional tools to map the buttons in unsupported games and more. But we won't focus too much on this accessory because, as a reminder, it is not available for purchase in Mexico. It even includes some spare parts for the joystick section. So let's put the packaging back and take a look. What else is there, you might ask? Well, what we were sent to see here is the fan, which is definitely another great addition. In this case, it seems you can attach it to the back of the device. Remember, these fans usually come with a sticker so you can stick it to your cell phone, making it very easy to attach the fan magnetically. To operate the fan actively, it must be plugged into a power outlet using USB-C. And if you don't want to use the magnet, you could also opt for this other accessory. It uses these small clips to keep the fan securely fixed to the cell phone. However, note that they have also considered this, and they offer a special case. Through this case, we can attach the fan in a much simpler way. There's no need to stick any stickers or anything else. Just like that, there it is. Note how it sticks perfectly fine. This feature is unique to this cooling accessory, however. Don't assume it includes wireless charging like MagSafe or similar features, but it is designed to support magnetic accessories of this kind. Once more, if you are interested in seeing these accessories available for purchase in Mexico, it would be helpful to mention it in the comments. So, these are the capabilities that this brand can offer. I believe if you're familiar with Red Magic, you'll be aware that they have extensive experience with everything related to gaming, especially now in the mid-range market. We are also witnessing some exciting additions. In earlier videos, we analyzed the Nubia Neo 2, another gaming-focused device. Now, they have released the Neo 3 and Neo 3 GT variants. Gradually, we aim to analyze all these devices. For now, let's concentrate on the cell phone after reviewing the box's contents. Well, I have already set up the device here so we can explore it. Notice that the design includes several features that instantly make us think about it. If you come to realize that this is a cell phone specifically designed with gamers in mind, you'll find that you can configure various light effects. You have the option to select from a range of different colors and effects, or you can opt for a steady illumination. This feature indeed provides an appealing effect for gamers. The device is 8.2 millimeters thick and weighs around 208 grams. It's important to know that it includes a vapor chamber measuring 4,083 square millimeters to effectively cool the processor. Additionally, it integrates touch triggers reminiscent of Red style. Magic comes with IP54 protection against water splashes, but the screen's special glass status is unknown. The screen features a 6.8-inch diagonal with full HD resolution, precisely 2,392 times 1,080 pixels. It's an OLED panel with a 120 Hz refresh rate and a peak brightness of 1300 nits, clearly a high-quality screen. The device also integrates stereo sound with a speaker at the bottom and another in the earpiece area for calls. I must tell you that the sound is not spectacular. It is positive that it has stereo sound, but the mid-frequency sound a lot, that as a first impression. Consider nothing else that does not ring headphone jack, and that in a cell phone for gamers bothers me. The front camera is 16 megapixels with f2.0 aperture and fixed focus, although in the preview looks very bad. A backlight the result. If it is optimized, although it does look like simple selfies, let's say it is a device that will have other priorities. On the back we find two cameras. The main one is 50 megapixels, in this case with f-aperture 1.8 without optical stabilization, and the secondary camera is only 2 megapixels that is placed there for mere decoration. But let's take a quick look at the results of this camera that I think does not disappoint. It's hard for a camera to disappoint in full 2025, but even though the interface seems to give you a 3x zoom crop, it doesn't maintain optical quality. So the zoom isn't that high quality. Here you are looking at the 5x zoom and finally the 10x zoom. Truth be told, it seems to have other priorities. The camera is not going to be something spectacular for video recording. On the front camera, we will find full HD as maximum resolution, but the rear camera notes that if you can record in 4K, something truly exceptional. Within this price range, it features a 6,000 milliamp hour battery that supports charging at 80 watts. This is one of its significant strengths, as it's quite uncommon to find such large batteries and such high charging power within this price range. We'll need to test it to confirm if it delivers the performance one would anticipate, but at least theoretically, it boasts very high specifications. The device comes equipped with Android 15, layered with iOS 15, which is the same interface found on ZTE devices. However, since this is a gamer edition, it includes the game space feature that we typically see on Red Magic devices. By the way, the sound quality is exceptionally loud and thunderous. It's important to note that here you can manage the content you've installed. And also, when running some of these games, you'll have access to additional tools that come as add-ons at the time of use. See, it includes stats, consoles here to interact with your device, and extra plugins to greatly enhance your experience. It features the complete Red Magic suite with AI detection of special game scenes that activate additional tools, There's also a high sensitivity mode for on-screen controls, which can be adjusted for more responsive gestures. The only aspect it doesn't integrate is the graphics enhancement, specifically the frames per second interpolation. However, it's important to note that it does offer some other intriguing add-ons, such as enabling you to play horizontal content on your device while holding it vertically, or even having an ultra-wide display. Let's restart the game, and with compatible content, you could achieve a much wider display. Therefore, the mere fact that it provides access to all these tools makes it a highly appealing feature. When you're playing, this becomes potentially one of the most appealing choices, particularly for those software add-ons. Now, while the processor might not be the absolute most powerful out there, I must emphasize that these software add-ons, such as having the ultra panoramic view option or the ability to map the touch triggers, will provide you with an exceptionally positive experience. Additionally, it's important to mention that you'll have other tools at your disposal. For instance, there's an option to change the color, which can be really useful if you're playing a game that's particularly dark, to invert it. Additionally, you would have other options such as highlighting the edges to more easily detect any movement from your opponent or something similar. Therefore, I emphasize that it provides you with all the tools we typically find in a Red Magic, but at a more adjustable price in this instance. Another tool might be this fixed sight, in case your game doesn't support it and you want a different sight with a larger size or something similar. Look, there it is. It will remain visible at all times, fixed so that you also gain this competitive advantage. As I mentioned before, the most appealing aspect will truly be the triggers that you can customize and place wherever you desire. I've positioned the left trigger here and the right trigger on the button that fires. Remember, you have the ability to change its behavior. For instance, you could set it to remain pressed until you select it again, or to respond to multiple presses based on your entire configuration. So in this instance, I'll just leave it like that. So let's see if we can do something about it because we're already a bit weakened. But watch closely, there you enable the sight, and with the other trigger, you shoot. This gives you the benefit of the Red Magic, even though it doesn't have as much power as a Red Magic. But at least it offers these benefits while you're playing. Watch, I was able to overcome my opponent without any problems, and there we are. Let's keep playing now to see, because someone else has already arrived here. What happens is, no, we are not going to switch weapons, and let's see if now we indeed have enough time to heal. Well, you can see for yourself that the gaming experience is quite good due to the add-ons it comes with and the triggers. However, in the video review, I will share many more details about the performance that the device can achieve. It comes with 8 GB of physical RAM, and it also includes virtual RAM, which I personally find not very useful. Additionally, it offers 256 GB of storage. It complies perfectly well in this sense, and the processor is the Unisoc T90100, which is essentially the Unisoc T820, but with slightly increased download speed on Wi-Fi networks. Clearly, many people still do not place much trust in Unisoc processors because they are typically found in more affordable devices, often in basic models, and this currently contributes to their reputation as low-end devices. In this case, this is the flagship processor of Unisoc, which would be more or less equivalent to a mid-range processor from other manufacturers. But what do you think if we see benchmarks to more or less get an idea in Geekbench with a single core got 888 points? That the truth is something very short, but in multi-core rose quite up to 2,467 points, to put a very common reference. That is the Helium G that we see in many devices in the mid-range. This processor would be more powerful than the Helium G. G, although it would be just a bit below the Snapdragon 6 Gen A, but let's say it would be similar to that processor. So, as you can see, I believe it is a competitive processor for its range. I don't think its main appeal is raw power, but when you combine a processor efficient enough to handle content without excessively high graphics, along with triggers and all the software add-ons, it becomes significantly more appealing for gaming. But, well, for now, we have reached the end of this video. Very soon, we will have the video review available, which will include a more detailed analysis. I really hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.